Well, these stupid seasonal allergies might have pushed my voice off the mark just a little bit, but my love of the 3DS and the mod scene is still right on the bullseye. So go grab your 2DS or 3DS handheld and your computer. We're about to level up your system by installing custom firmware on it. And it's great because the process is now faster and safer than ever before. Stick around, you're about to learn something new. A few quick housekeeping notes as we get started here. You'll need to have your 2DS or 3DS system connected to the wireless internet. Make sure that you have your Mii set up in Mii Maker because you'll need to use it in the Friends app in just a moment. And finally, you'll need to have either an SD or microSD card set up in FAT32 format. This video guide is largely based on the 3ds.hacks.guide website. I've donated to the site and I hope you'll consider doing the same. They do fantastic work there and I recommend that you keep that written guide open while you follow this video guide. To start the process, make sure that your SD or microSD card is inserted into your system. First up, let's make sure that your system doesn't already have custom firmware installed on it. Press and hold the start button and then press the power button at the same time. Your system should boot to the standard 3DS menu. If it boots to something else, you might have custom firmware already installed on it and you need to double check what's installed on your system before proceeding. Next, let's verify the system software version and the region code for your system. To do this, scroll through the list of menu choices to System Settings and select it with the A button. At the System Settings main menu, take a look at the bottom right corner of the top display. Be sure that you've run software update for your handheld to get the most recent version of the system software before proceeding. This guide is compatible with systems from Europe, Japan, Korea, and the United States. Now that we've established all of those prerequisites are taken care of, you need to power off your system. Press and hold the power button, and in the bottom touch display, tap on Power Off to shut down your 2DS or 3DS system. Remove the SD or microSD card from your handheld. Then insert the SD or microSD card into your computer. With your card inserted, you should see a File Explorer window come up. You'll see that there's a folder on the root of your SD or microSD storage called Nintendo 3DS. Double-click into that folder. There's a subfolder in here that contains what's called your ID 0 number. It's an alphanumeric string of 32 characters and it's assigned to the folder name. Double-click on the folder name, then right-click on it to select Copy. You'll need to put this information into a website in just a moment. Okay, leave everything just like it is on your computer for the moment, including leaving the SD or microSD card inserted. Then transition back over to your 2DS or 3DS system. Power on your 2DS or 3DS system without the SD card inserted. In the bottom display, use the D-pad to move up from the large navigation ribbon to the small top navigation ribbon. Scroll through the list of choices to Friends list and select it with the A button to continue. Inside the Friends list, press the D-pad to the right to scroll the bottom touchscreen wheel over to your friend ID information. You'll see a 12-digit friend code listed underneath your Mii. Make sure to have this information at the ready for the next step, which takes place on your computer. I have no idea why YouTube's robots take exception to me talking about, or linking to this website, so I've just linked to the 3ds.hacks.guide page discussing it instead. Scroll down on this page and you'll see two boxes, one for your friend code and one for your ID 0 code. Start by left-clicking in the box that says Your Friend Code. Type in the 12-digit number from your 2DS or 3DS system without the dashes. Now that your friend code's entered, come down to the box that says ID 0. Left-click on it, then right-click and select Paste to paste your ID 0 number here. With these two codes in place, click the green Go button on the left side of the screen. You'll see a red message appear on screen instructing you to add a friend code to your 2DS or 3DS system. Make note of this number as it's probably different than the one you see in this video. Then transition to your system to enter the number. In the bottom touch display, in the top right corner, tap the Add Friend icon. From the list of choices that appear, tap on Internet. Enter the 12-digit code that was provided to you by the website. Once you have it entered in, tap OK in the bottom right corner. Then assign a name to this internet friend. I didn't know what his name was, so I just called him Fred. Once you've chosen a name, tap OK in the bottom right corner to continue. At the confirmation message that appears, tap on OK to continue. You'll now see in both the top and bottom displays that your new friend has been added. Transition back over to your computer for the next step. The website will now recognize the trusted connection between the site and your 2DS or 3DS system. Once the website's done with its processing task, scroll down and you'll see a green download box for a file called movable.sed. Click on this box to download the file to your computer. Next up, visit the Banner Bomb 3 website. I have the site link for you in the video description. This site helps you convert the movable.sed file into something your 3DS or 2DS system can actually use. Scroll down on this page and click on the Choose File button. From here, navigate to your Downloads folder in File Explorer, Select the movable.sed file and click on Open. Once you have this file selected, click on the Build and Download button shown here. This will download the contents in zip file format to your computer. This is one of the places where the video guide here deviates from the 3ds.hacks guide just a little bit. We're going to download all the same stuff that's on the website. We're just going to download it all in one straight shot. Anemone lets you customize the look and feel of themes on your 3DS or 2DS system. Scroll down to Assets and download Anemone 3ds.cia. Next on the list, Boot 9 Strap. This is needed as part of the modification process to install custom firmware to your device. Scroll down on the page to the Assets section. Pay careful attention here as there are several different downloads available. The one you want has only the name Boot 9 Strap, the version number, and a zip file extension. Locate that file and click on it to download it to your computer. Next on the list, Checkpoint. This is a save games manager for your 2DS or 3DS. Scroll down on the GitHub page until you get to the Assets section. Locate the file called checkpoint.cia and click on it to download it. Next up, FBI. This is an installer for the CIA files that you've been downloading. Once again, scroll down to the Assets section. This time you need to grab two files. You need fbi.3dsx and fbi.cia. Double-click on both of these files to download them to your computer. Godmode 9 gives you control over things like booting into custom firmware every time you power on your system and being able to back up your system files. Scroll down to the Assets section and click on the zip file to download the latest version of Godmode 9. Next up is the Homebrew Launcher Wrapper. You'll need this application to launch 3dsx files like FBI. Scroll down to the Assets section and click on the latest version of the .cia file shown here. Luma 3ds is the actual custom firmware for your system. Scroll down on the page to the Assets section and click on the zip file to grab the latest version shown here. Safe B9S is another application you need in order to install custom firmware to your device. Once again, scroll down to the Assets section, then click on the zip file to download the latest version to your computer. Universal Updater gives you access to install and update Homebrew content for your device as needed. Scroll down on the page until you get to the Assets section. Then click to download the CIA file shown here. The USM Binary File is another necessary component to install custom firmware to your device. Scroll down on the page to the Assets section. Then click to download the usm.bin file shown here. When we last left off at File Explorer, we were at the ID0 folder for your device on the SD or microSD card. To start the process of copying files and folders over to it, go back one level to the root of the SD or microSD card. To simplify things, I'm going to grab the window for the microSD card and just drag it over to the right side of the screen. Now I'm going to open up a second File Explorer window for the Downloads folder, and I'll drag and drop that and snap it all the way over to the left side of the screen. First order of business inside the Downloads folder is to uncompress any zip files that were downloaded. In this process, all of the files are in fact zip files, so you can extract them natively in Windows without any third-party tools being added. Along the way, as you unzip each of the zip files, delete the zip file in order to eliminate the clutter out of the Downloads folder. Now that all of the zip files are uncompressed, let's tackle these files and folders one at a time. In this example, they're sorted by folder and file type in alphabetical order. Right-click in the File Explorer window for your SD storage, select New and Folder. Name this folder Boot, the number 9, and Strap, all as one word. Once you have this folder created, double-click into it. Navigate back over to the File Explorer window for downloads. Double-click into the Boot 9 Strap folder here. Grab everything that you see inside the Boot 9 Strap folder and drag and drop it into the Boot 9 Strap folder on your storage device. Go back one level in the navigation in Downloads. You can delete the Boot 9 Strap folder out of Downloads, remembering, of course, these files and folders will still be archived in your recycle bin should you need them. Next on the list is the DSI exploit folder. Navigate to this folder and double-click into it. You'll find two files inside of here. Each of these files needs to go to a separate location on your microSD or SD storage device. Start by going back one level in the navigation to the root of your SD or microSD card. Grab the file called bb3.bin and drag and drop it directly on the root of your microSD or SD storage card. Locate the folder called Nintendo 3DS. It's the same one you clicked into earlier in the guide. Double-click into this folder. You'll see that ID0 folder with your ID0 number. Double-click into that folder. This folder is called the ID1 folder. Double-click into that folder. You'll need to create a new folder inside the ID1 subfolder. Right-click, select New, and Folder. Pay very close attention to the naming of this folder. It needs to be called Nintendo DSiWare, but capitalize the N in Nintendo, the DS in DSiWare, and the W in DSiWare, like shown here. Cool. Once you have this folder created, navigate to it and double-click into the newly created folder. There's a file over in your Downloads folder and it's called Food for 3DS. Grab that file and drag and drop it directly into this newly created folder. Click the back arrow several times until you get all the way back to the root of your storage card. Then navigate to the File Explorer window for Downloads and go back to the root of the Downloads folder. Now you can delete the DSiWare exploit folder to get it out of your Downloads folder. Next up, let's tackle the God Mode 9 folder. Go over to the File Explorer window for your storage card. Right-click, select New, and select Folder. Create a new folder here and name it Luma. In this instance, you don't have to capitalize Luma. Once you have this new folder created and named, navigate to it and double-click into the Luma folder. Inside the Luma folder, right-click, select New, and Folder. You'll need to create a new folder here and name it Payloads, P-A-Y-L-O-A-D-S. Once you have this subfolder created and named, navigate to it and double-click into it. Go back to the File Explorer window for Downloads. Locate the God Mode 9 folder inside Downloads and double-click into it. Scroll down through this subfolder until you locate a file called godmode9.firm. Be careful to choose the one that says godmode9.firm and not the one that says godmode9.firm.sha. Only the one that says godmode9.firm. Grab that file and drag and drop it into the newly created subfolder on your storage card. Next up, look for a subfolder called GM9. On your storage card, go all the way back to the root by clicking the back arrow several times. From here, you'll want to drag and drop the GM9 folder directly onto the root. Be careful not to drag and drop it into one of the subfolders. Go outside that area and drag and drop it there to prevent it from being a problem. Back at the File Explorer window for Downloads, click to go back to the root of the Downloads folder. Now you can delete the God Mode 9 folder out of Downloads, remembering, of course, once again, they are backed up in your recycle bin. Let's tackle these CIA files. There are actually a handful of them here, and we can drag and drop them all at once. Over in your storage card, right-click, select New, and select Folder. Let's name this folder CIAs, or CIAS. Once you have this folder created and named, double-click into it. Navigate over to the File Explorer window for Downloads. Locate all of the files that have a CIA extension and mark all of them. If you've downloaded everything correctly, you should find 5 CIA files in your Downloads folder. Once you've located and marked all 5 of the CIA files, you can simply drag and drop them all as a group over into the newly created CIAs folder on your storage card. Excellent. Now that you have all of these files still marked over in your Downloads folder, you can just right-click on any one of them and delete all 5 of them out of your Downloads folder in a group. Once you have all of the CIA files deleted, let's tackle that FBI.3dsx file. Navigate back over to your storage card. Right-click in the root of the storage card, select New, and Folder. Name this folder 3DS, and lowercase letters are perfectly fine here. Once you have this folder created and named, double-click into it. Back over in your Downloads folder, grab the file for FBI.3dsx and drag and drop it directly into this subfolder. Good deal. Click the back arrow to go back one level to the root of your storage card. Over in the Downloads folder, right-click on FBI.3dsx and delete it. Next batter up to the plate, Luma 3DS folder inside Downloads. Go to that folder and double-click into it. This is really straightforward. Just grab everything that you see inside this folder and drag and drop it directly on the root of your storage card. Be careful not to drop them into one of the subfolders, only drop it directly onto the root of your storage card. Right on. Navigate over to the Downloads folder and delete the Luma 3DS folder from inside your Downloads folder. Next up, navigate to the Safe B9S folder and double-click into it. Inside the subfolder, scroll down through the list of choices until you see the listing for Safe B9S Installer.bin. Click on that file and drag and drop it directly onto the root of your storage card. Go back over to the File Explorer window for downloads and go back to the root by clicking the back arrow. Delete the safe B9S folder out of downloads. That just leaves you with one single file left, usm.bin. Drag and drop it directly onto the root of your SD or microSD card. Go back over to downloads, delete that file out of your downloads folder. Now your downloads folder should be squeaky clean. Okay, before moving forward, I can't stress this enough. Make sure that you've copied files and folders into the right place on your storage card before proceeding. You'll save yourself a ton of frustration in just a moment if you'll just make sure everything's in the right place before proceeding. Okay, you can close out any instances of File Explorer and remove the SD or microSD card from your computer. Take your storage card and insert it into your 2DS or 3DS system. Before you power on the system, let's do a quick button check to make sure that some key buttons and presses that you're going to need are going to work before we move forward. To do this, let's see if we can boot into safe mode. Press the left shoulder button, the right shoulder button, up on the D-pad, the A button, and while pressing and holding all of these, press the power on button on your device. Your 2DS or 3DS handheld should boot into safe mode where it asks you to do a system update. If you see anything other than this, at least one of these buttons is not working correctly. The written guide has a provision for what to do if this happens, but my recommendation to you is if you have one of these buttons not working on your system, get it fixed first before you attempt to install custom firmware. Once you've confirmed you can boot into safe mode, tap cancel in the bottom left corner of the touchscreen to turn off the system. Power your handheld back on. From the main menu, use the D-pad to scroll through the choices to System Settings. Select it with the A button to launch it. When the System Settings main menu appears, tap on Data Management in the bottom touchscreen. In the sub-menu, tap on DSiWare in the top right corner of the touchscreen. In the top right corner of the touchscreen, tap on SD card or microSD card. If you've done everything right up to this point, then voila, you'll boot into the Banner Bomb 3 menu. When the menu appears, the highlight arrow should already be set to install. Press the A button to install Banner Bomb 3 and your system will automatically shut down. Reboot your system into safe mode by pressing and holding the left shoulder button, right shoulder button, up on the D-pad, and the A button, and then while holding all of them, press and hold the power button. This time, when you're notified that there's a system update available, instead of canceling out, in the bottom right of the touchscreen, tap on OK to continue. You'll be notified that there's a license agreement to accept. In the bottom right corner, tap I accept to continue. You'll be prompted to plug your system into AC power. If you haven't already, do so, and then tap OK to continue. The system update process will fail, and this is an automatic and expected behavior. At the pop-up message that appears, just tap on OK in the bottom touchscreen to continue. You'll be asked if you want to configure your internet settings. Yes, you do, so tap on Yes to continue. This next step makes temporary but automatically reverse changes to your connection to the internet. To do this, tap on Connection 1 in the bottom touchscreen to continue. In the next submenu, tap on Change Settings at the top of the touchscreen. At the next submenu, tap the right arrow on the side of the touchscreen. Then look for the listing for Proxy Settings and tap on it to continue. Then, in the next submenu, tap on Detailed Setup. Give your system a moment to process the command. You'll see a splash of color in both of the displays, and you'll be in the safe B9S installer. Give your system a moment to complete some necessary checks as indicated in the bottom touchscreen. These checks make sure that everything is safe for your system to proceed to the next step. Once the checks are complete, take a look at the top screen on your system. You'll see a message on screen that 𝐘𝐕𝐄 has been installed successfully. Press the A button to reboot your system, and you'll boot into Luma 3DS for the first time. Tempting though it may be to play around with the settings, the only thing you need to do is press the Start button to restart your device. Back at the main menu of your device, navigate to System Settings and press A to launch it. This is where you'll reset your Wi-Fi settings to their original settings. In the bottom touch display, tap on Data Management. In the Data Management submenu, tap on DSiWare. Then in the top right corner, tap on microSD or SD card. This is going to relaunch Banner Bomb 3. The highlight arrow will be preset to install. Just press the D-pad down one time to move it to uninstall and press the A button. Your Wi-Fi settings will be restored and your device will be restarted back to the home menu. The written guide calls for running the system update at this point, and I never question the wisdom of the oracles. Press the A button on System Settings to launch it. In the menu on the touchscreen, tap Other Settings. You'll need to tap the right arrow several times in order to access the System Update button. Tap System Update, tap OK in the bottom right corner of the touchscreen, tap I accepted the license agreement, and give the system a moment to check for a system update. You should be notified that your system is already up to date and you're good to go. Once you see the confirmation message for this, tap OK in the bottom touchscreen to continue. This will restart your 2DS or 3DS system back to the main menu. From the main menu of your device, navigate to Download Play, then press the A button to launch it. From the main menu of Download Play, on your device, press the down button on the D-pad, the left shoulder button, and select all at the same time to launch the Rosalina menu. From the main menu of Rosalina, use the D-pad to scroll the highlight arrow down to Miscellaneous Options and press the A button. In the submenu, the highlight arrow should already be on the option for Switch the HB title to the current app. Press the A button to select it. After the confirmation message appears, press the B button several times to go all the way back to the Download Play main menu. Back at the main menu of Download Play, press the Home button on your device. Then at the confirmation prompt in the touchscreen, tap Close in the bottom left corner to close Download Play. Back at the main menu of your device, relaunch Download Play by selecting it with the A button. This time, instead of going into Download Play, it's going to take you into the Homebrew launcher. Cool, huh? You'll need to relaunch Rosalina, and it's the same process as before. Down on the D-pad, left shoulder button, and select. Just like you did the last time you launched Rosalina, use the D-pad to move the highlight arrow down to Miscellaneous Options and select it with the A button. This time from the sub-menu, use the D-pad to scroll down to Dump DSP Firmware and select it with the A button. By the way, dumping the DSP firmware is what empowers your system to be able to use audio with Homebrew applications. Once your DSP firmware has been dumped to your SD or microSD card, press the B button to go back. Next up, use the D-pad to move the highlight arrow up one listing to nullify user time offset and press the A button. You'll see a message asking you to reboot your system for the changes to take effect. Don't worry, we will in just a moment. For now, just press the B button to continue. Then press the B button again to go back to the main menu of Rosalina, and then press it one more time to go back to the Homebrew launcher menu. Remember all those CIA files we copied over to your SD or your microSD card for your device? It's time to install them. Tap FBI in the bottom touchscreen. From the main menu of FBI, press the A button to select SD. You'll see the files and folders on the root of your SD or microSD card. Scroll down through the listings to get to CIAs and select it with the A button. From here, you'll see a listing of all the CIA files you have copied over. Press the A button on Current Directory, then use the D-pad to scroll down through the choices to install and delete all CIAs and press the A button. At the confirmation screen, press the A button on your device or tap on screen to install all of the CIA files all at one time. Once the installation process is complete, press the A button or tap OK on the touchscreen to continue. From here, press and hold the power button on your device, and at the confirmation prompt, tap power off. Home stretch. I hope you're getting excited because you're about to get some deity powers over your 2DS or 3DS system. Press and hold the start button, and then press the power button to turn your system back on. You'll boot directly into God Mode 9. You shouldn't be asked to do this, but just in case you are, if you're asked to create an essential files backup, press the A button to do so. I didn't see this prompt or the following prompt during the recording of this guide, but just in case you happen to see the Set Date and Time prompt, press A to do so. This will take you into the God Mode 9 main menu. Press the Home button on your device and focus on the bottom touchscreen area. Use the D-pad to move the highlight arrow down to Scripts and press the A button. From this sub-menu, select GM9 Megascripts with the A button. Then use the D-pad to scroll the highlight arrow down to Scripts from Playlex Guide and press A. Inside this sub-menu, the first choice says Set up Luma 3DS to CTR NAND. Press A to select this option. You'll be asked to press A to confirm that you want to make this change. Well, you've gone this far, might as well go the rest of the way. Press A for yes. You'll be asked to confirm this change. Press the A button for yes. You'll see a series of D-pad and button presses, and they may be different than the ones that you see on screen here. Just press the D-pad and the buttons as shown on your display to unlock your SysNAND. The change takes effect in nearly the blink of an eye. Press the A button to continue once the process is complete. Next up, time to clean up your storage card. Scroll down to Clean Up SD Card and press A. Then at the confirmation prompt, press the A button to continue. This cleans up setup files that are no longer necessary, saving precious space on your storage card. Press A to continue and B to go back one level in the menus. The highlight arrow should land right on backup options. Press the A button to select it. It should also land directly on SysNAND backup in the submenu. Press A to select it, and then A for yes to confirm the backup. This process backs up your system flash memory, protecting you in the future if anything goes wrong. Just as a heads up, it takes several minutes in real time for the backup to complete. Once it's done, press the A button to continue. You'll need to lock your SysNAND now that everything has been taken care of. Press B to go back, B to go back again, and at the confirmation prompt, press the A button for yes to lock your SysNAND. Take a look at the top display now. In the top display menu, use the D-pad to scroll through the list of choices to the one that says S SysNAND Virtual and select it with the A button. In the submenu that appears, use the D-pad to scroll the highlight down to Essential.exefs and press the A button. Now focus your attention back down onto the bottom display. Use the D-pad to move this highlight arrow down to Copy to 0GM9 Out, which is on your SD card. Press the A button to confirm. Once these files have been backed up to your SD card or microSD card, press A to continue. Back at the main menu of God Mode 9, press the Home button on your device. In the submenu that appears, select Power Off System with the A button. Remove the SD or microSD card from your 2DS or 3DS system and put it back in your computer. Back on your computer, when the window appears for your SD or microSD card storage, here's what I recommend that you do. Select every file and folder on the storage card with Control A. Then either right-click on them and select Copy, or press Control-C on the keyboard to copy everything that's on your storage card. Make a new folder somewhere that you'll want to back up these files on your computer. I'm going to put them on the desktop for this example, but just put them wherever it makes sense for you. Rename this folder whatever makes sense that you will know where your 3DS backup is if you need it later. In this case, I'm going to name it, wait for it, 3DS Backup. Now just double-click into the newly created folder and paste everything that you copied over from your SD or microSD card. Excellent, you're now done with your computer. You can close out File Explorer and remove the SD or microSD card from your computer. Insert your storage card back into your 2DS or 3DS system and power it back on. You know, there's a serious itch that needs to be scratched here because there's really nothing fun installed here yet for you to be able to do with your newly jailbroken system. Let's fix that. I picked out a great video for you here on how to wirelessly stream your 2DS or 3DS system to your computer. I'll look forward to seeing you over there.